Hello, I'm a nostalgia critic. I remember it so you don't have to. This is a tale about the ship of dreams, about a young boy and a young girl who fall in love but are torn apart by their social class. And only at the height of their emotional commitment does the ship meet with disaster. Wait, no, that's James Cameron's highest grossing film of all time, Titanic. My mistake. This is a tale about a ship of dreams, about a young boy and a young girl who fall in love but are torn apart by their social class, and only at the height of their emotional commitment does the ship meet with disaster. This is the story of Titanic, the animated musical.
Hold me, never let me go.
Now, before you say anything, let me answer your very first question. Yes, this is real. Some Italian fart over in Italy decided he wanted to tell his version of how he saw the Titanic, which of course is completely different from that other little independent film that came out just a few years earlier. This charming little version has talking geese, Mexican mice, and, I'm really not kidding here, a rapping dog. I swear to God that is true. A rapping dog. This film is actually so bad that a lot of people debate whether or not it actually exists. Copies of it are very hard to find, and most people who see snippets swear it's just something done by a 5th grader on Adobe Flash. But here's the DVD to prove it. Titanic. As it says on the back how they embark on the real adventures of the Titanic. Oh yeah, because all the other stories you've heard weren't the least bit exciting or credible, were they? No. This is the exciting version with what really historically happened on the Titanic. With Mexican mice and a rapping dog. Hello! Be afraid, my fellow viewers. Be very, very afraid. Let's dive in. No pun intended. So the film is actually called Titanic, the legend goes on. Yeah, because that doesn't sound at all like another person's song, does it? As the film surprisingly skips ahead a tad to show the actual sinking of the damn ship. Well, way to give away the ending. You can probably tell from this opening that the animation isn't all that spectacular. I mean, you have one of the greatest disasters of all time happening, and what do they focus on? The people rowing! You know there's an awe-inspiring cataclysm of death to your right, don't you? Really? We're just gonna focus on the rowing here? Why do I get the feeling if this director saw the Hindenburg disaster, he'd probably take a picture of some pretty flowers? So my first thought was, maybe the movie was so bad that I decided to fast forward to the end and just skip the whole thing. But nope. The story is actually told in flashback. Again, very original. As we see our main character named Angelica, who is forced to be a servant to her evil stepmother and 2 selfish stepsisters. Gee, does that sound familiar?
Stop moping over that picture. You're never going to find your precious mother.
Your precious mother!
You're wrong. I will find her. And my father too. I'll find them both.
Well, enough of that scene, I guess. This film's really on the move, apparently. As we jump to the boarding of the infamous ship Titanic. And from the look of half the passengers, you'd swear it was Noah's Ark, boarding 2 of every lamest animal. Especially the racially insensitive ones.
We've been on tour, senor, and cannot wait to get home, muchachos?
I'm Sinking Gonzales, the fastest drowning mouse in all of Mexico.
So we see Angelica with her evil stepfamily as she holds hope that one day she'll find her long-lost mother. Maybe even, I don't know, on the stinking ship.
You didn't pack our clothes properly, you clumsy girl. Pick up those bits of broken china at once.
What the hell? They actually break stuff for her to pick up? That's not evil, that's Tourette syndrome. Come on, you gotta have some logic. We then cut to a family of mice unpacking down below. When did this movie turn into an American fail?
How about if she comes to our party, Mama? We are having one, aren't we? I can't decide on my accent, Mama. Is it Italian, Mexican, French?
We'll talk to Fritz about her.
Just the snack.
Well, wait, who are they? Wait, huh? What? Who? Hey, what?
If it hadn't been for you, I would be now...
What just happened? Is this movie on speed?
I would be now in someone else's digestion.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so.
Oh God, this is it.
Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax,
Wait,
take a look.
wait. If we're gonna go through this, I want to be prepared. Alright, continue.
I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time.
Wait! Sorry, this isn't gonna do it. Okay.
Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time.
Wait! Sorry, I need something a little bit more potent. So, yeah, this is just as bad as you'd think it is. I mean, never mind the fact that the dog is wearing a jersey and singing music that won't be developed for several decades, but what motivates him to do such a thing anyway? I mean, this was the lead-in line.
If it hadn't been for you, I would be now in someone else's digestion.
Yes, thank you! If there's anything we can do to help, just let us know!
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it. Forget it. Enjoy
what are you
the show.
doing?
Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back.
Did I at any point indicate that I wanted a rap number?
I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time.
I'm beginning to regret you saving me. I mean, forget the ship. This is the major disaster the film was building up to. Even if this was meant to be done in modern times, it still would fall flat on its ass. Hey kids, just remember, this Friday is the release of Shit Doggy Dog's latest single, Kibbles and Bitches. Hey, if it's good enough to play on a ship where the majority of passengers die, it's good enough for your 5-year-old any day. So, if you're actually dumb enough to stay after that scene, we find there's a subplot about two thieves who looks like they're being led by B. Arthur's crazy aunt. They're being followed by a detective who's apparently been hunting them for quite some time.
Special Detective Sam Bradbury. Sam to my friends, a threat to my enemies.
Detective, really? I'd never be able to tell. By those clothes, I thought you'd be a plumber. So the thieves try to get this one woman's jewels, but are constantly thwarted by a dog who I swear was voiced by Sam Elliott.
If I don't land her the right company, we're both gonna hit hard times.
I'm talking about the dude here. They try again later, though, to sneak into the woman's room and rob her blind.
Leave the whole bag to me.
What? Huh? Well, why is there... Who? Wait, what? Where did... Who? Wait, what? Huh? What is going on? Can't this movie just pick a scene and develop it? It's like a comedy of errors, except they forgot to tell us what the errors are. After that, we jump to yet another subplot about a rich teenage boy named William, who's traveling with his...
You mustn't dwell on her, Nanny.
Nanny? Isn't he a little old to be having a nanny? I mean, what age does he have puberty? 35?
Relax. Who knows what's around the corner? I dream of my first building going up in America.
By God, I'm so delightfully bland.
I wonder if my little girl has had a proper education. Expect I'll never know.
Oh, how about that? She lost a daughter years ago. Gee, I do wonder how this is all gonna end. It's just throwing me on so many loops. He goes outside to do blandish things when he bumps into Angelica. From there, it's contrived love at first sight.
I bet you look ravishing in this.
It's not mine.
I'm so spontaneously attracted to you. You're the only person on this ship that has more lip collagen than I have. So as you can tell, this is just a role reversal of the other Titanic movie. Except instead of a rich girl and a poor boy, it's a rich boy and a poor girl. Good God, I hope that means she doesn't want to draw him nude.
Is something wrong, Master William?
I met a sweet, charming girl. I don't know who she is, or even what part of the ship she's in.
She only said one sentence to me, but it was so non-fragmented that I know that she has to be the one. So, will this couple meet again? You bet your poor plot lines they do, as William comes across a little girl who lost her ball.
My ball! It fell down there! My ball! I lost my ball! This is the worst possible thing that could happen to me on this trip!
I'll get it for you. Back in a minute.
While down there, he comes across Angelica again, as the two seem to hit it off, I guess.
I was too busy looking for someone. Now that I've found her, I'm not going to let her get away from me again.
Now get in the bag before I stab you repeatedly! So, even though they share a whopping 7 sentences with each other, they know they are destined for one another. William asks if he'll see her at the reception that night. But there's one tiny problem. Angelica has nothing to wear. Luckily, one of the passengers has an outfit for her to borrow. Just like that other movie!
I haven't worn this since my poor Francis took me to the opera for the first and last time.
I'm lying, of course. I stole it. Meanwhile, we cut to the animals, who seem to be getting into more trouble, as they search for that blue locket that Angelica lost that doesn't in any way resemble... Oh, fuck it, you know the drill. It's incredible how much these animals have no defining character. In fact, they barely even talk. They just make random grunts and sounds half the time. So they get the locket back and return it to its rightful owner, just in time for her to be the belle of the ball. For some reason, they have a flashback to all the times they've been together. Yeah, all 2 of them. So as you can imagine, there's not much to really show in this flashback. In fact, aren't we already in a flashback? Did Angelica, while rowing on the boat, suddenly flash back to William's flashback while she was flashing back? It's like this movie has ADD. Didn't the animators have any Ritalin?
I've been waiting all my life for a moment as happy as this. No, you know nothing about me.
The first sensible thing said in this movie.
Nothing you could tell me could prevent me from loving you.
I'm a man.
Whoop, gotta go.
And please don't ask me where my green gloves went. I'm sure they'll just magically appear in the next scene.
Angelica!
Oh, there they are.
So the animals go back down below to celebrate the fact that there's nothing to celebrate.
If you're feeling blue stuff, there's something that you can do stuff. Dust off your dancing shoe stuff, and the fiesta with mucho gusto. Same old thing, day in, day out, you're looking for something new stuff. You rack your brain to try and figure out what could you possibly do stuff.
Lo te stanco dicho, this plot is muy stupido. It makes absolute no senso. This song is muy racisto. Arriba!
Going to party.
We don't take food from strangers. Stupid dog. What am I saying? You look more like a bat.
So, I know what you're thinking. What's taking that iceberg so long anyway?
There's an iceberg right in our path!
Ah, there it is. Just pray to God it doesn't have a song to sing too. So the ship starts sinking, as this constant use of the same scenes played over and over indicates, as the brave, fearless crew tries to get rid of all the water with buckets. Are you fucking serious? Even Gilligan wouldn't do something so stupid! Look at this. They're not even throwing the water overboard. They're just throwing it at the ship. What the hell? Hey everybody, it's a splash pipe! Oh, I'm gonna get you wet. Come on. You're gonna get splashy splashy. So William goes down to the lower quarters to get his beloved Angelica. But as we all know from history, the third-class passengers are trapped down below, unable to escape. Oh, that's nice. You just ripped through pure metal like it was a waffle. So the 2 are reunited as they try to get out on one of the lifeboats.
All right, women and children only.
Go on, we'll be together again soon, I promise.
I might be a little deadish when you see me. I hope that doesn't bother you. So Angelica manages to get off on one of the lifeboats as she watches in horror the sinking of innocent humanity. But at least they're not above inserting a little humor into this situation.
Those horrible creatures are making faces at me!
Well, maybe you're bothering them. Sit over here.
Hilarious! Makes me totally forget that hundreds of people are drowning and freezing to death. This is the funny, horrendous sinking movie. So we cut back to the Titanic as we see young William starting to break a window. Why is he doing that? We saw clearly before there's a door he can exit out of. Maybe he just hates poorly constructed glasswork.
How dare they use casement window designs? It's so last century!
So William escapes the evil window as he grabs a small child to protect while the ship finally sinks into the abyss. And just how bad is this horrible sight? It actually makes the Dalmatians cry. No! Not the Dalmatians! I'll take the deaths of all the men, women, and children, but a single tear down a puppy dog's face? That's simply too much! You know, for kids!
Help! There's a child here!
Ah, yes, because as history clearly tells us, all the lifeboats came back to rescue the passengers. God, this is so educational.
Hang on, we can save him too!
Good lord, the movie's trying to drag him down with it!
But there is some good news on this maiden voyage of death. It turns out that Angelica has finally found her real mother. On the same fucking boat within the same fucking ship. What are the odds?
I hope you understand that neither I nor your father wanted to give you up.
I never thought you'd abandoned me.
You just leave me behind with no way to contact or locate you for the rest of my life. That's what a real mother would do.
But what about poor William? Did he survive the fatal sinking?
It looks like someone in the water.
There's a body out there. Please try to get nearer. It's not him.
Move along, leave him for the fishies. Well, at least the animals made it out alive. Good, the survivors are gonna need something to eat on their way back to shore. Oh look, the dolphins are helping them out too. This is the happiest of God's slaughters ever. What's that, Flipper? The Titanic is sinking? Well, you better go help them, shouldn't you? It's okay, everything will be fine now that Flipper's on the case.
Flipper, Flipper, faster than lightning.
Look, over there.
William.
Oh no! We're so close to William, and yet we're running out of animation! Throw all the other clips from the movie together! Quickly, go, go, go! Use all that stock footage! Use it to all your might!
Ah, cutting corners has saved us again.
William! Darling, it's me, Angelica.
Ah! She's turned into a Rorschach test!
Hello. Sorry I took so long.
So William and Angelica get back together as they kiss in front of the sunrise. Oh, how charming.
Wait a minute, where are you going? The movie isn't over yet. Don't you want to know what happened to everybody?
I kind of assumed they drowned.
Hortense and Bernice marry Kirk and Dirk, who are gloatingly thinking they got it made. And here we have the ecstatic newlyweds Angelica and William, together with Mother Nanny Jenny, Victoria, and the grandchildren. And the Dalmatians and their children. Well, here's hoping they'll all live happily ever after. See you soon.
Happily ever after? What the hell's wrong with you? This isn't a postcard, it's the sinking of the fucking Titanic! If you wanted to be really faithful, you would have said...
Kirk and Dirk got married to the evil stepsisters. William and Angelica married as well as adopted the two Dalmatians, and over 1,500 people died in one of the world's largest and most tragic disasters. See you soon!
Where did this movie come from? What idiotic brain mash could so effectively miss the tragic center of the Titanic disaster? My guess is somebody just saw the James Cameron blockbuster and didn't realize it was based on a real tragic event. They probably just thought it was a fairy tale. So they put their half-assed version together thinking to themselves, you know what this collection of human misery needs? A rapping dog. There's a reason so many people don't believe this movie exists, because quite frankly, we don't want to believe it exists. It's so horrible that we as human beings don't want to believe that we created it. And, with the help of Mr. Alcohol here, I might just be able to make that dream come true. I'm the nostalgia critic, I remember it, so you don't have to. Oh, yes, destroy that memory.
Hold me, never let me go.
Wait a minute, where are you going? The movie isn't over yet.
Right you are, you little obnoxious bastard. Hello, I'm the nostalgia critic. I remember it so you don't have to. You know, I love cards, but Sometimes they're just so boring to look at. What with all those hearts, spades, clubs, and diamonds? Why not get some cards that actually have some pictures on them? No, not those cards. Yet. I'm talking about Geek Fight, Angry Video Game Nerd versus Nostalgia Critic. As you can see, these are some pretty kick-ass cards with some pretty kick-ass artwork. A lot of artists worked hard on these drawings, and you can see their effort really shows. There's also a lot of creativity put into them too. I mean, look at this, you got the evil Teddy Ruxpin, Chester A. Bum, even That Guy somehow made it into the deck, including his weird-ass creation of hamster jelly. I don't know how the hell they drew that, but they did, and it's pretty damn cool. The only real problem I have is the Angry Video Game Nerd cards. I mean, look at him, he almost looks respectable. What a completely flawed misrepresentation. But the critic cards are great, making me look strong, masculine, and incredibly well endowed. Did I say that out loud? Well, anyway, you can buy them for $7 plus shipping. That's a pretty damn good deal. Purchases can be made at divingdragongames.com/shop. Just go there and pick up a copy for yourself. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. What the hell is he gonna put his face on next? Only time will tell, my friends. Only time will tell. I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remembered, so you don't have to.
Well, great, Nostalgia Critic. The entire costume party was ruined. I thought we agreed that you were going to be Darth Vader and I was going to be the shadowy puppet master Dark Overlord that controls you, just like in real life. Nostalgia Critic.
Nostalgia Critic. Can you hear me?
Yes, my brother. I apologize. I passed out after I thought I heard news that there was another animated Titanic movie.
Oh, but I'm afraid in your rage you have forgotten that there is another Titanic movie, and it is your job to review it.
Can't be. I reviewed it already.
Yes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it appears there's another feature-length ripoff of James Cameron's Titanic. I can't believe I live in a world where two of these exist. And you think that'd be bad enough. But if you can possibly comprehend this, it is actually worse than the other version. Yes, there is actually something out there worse than this.
Party time, everybody's feeling fine 'cause it's party time.
I know it's hard to believe, but this actually is more terrible than the rapping dog. So, what abomination of hell could possibly make it into the human world? Let's find out. So, strangely enough, this version also focuses on talking mice that snuck aboard the Titanic. You mean somebody actually found it necessary to rip off the rip-off? Did you even see that? You want to rip off this? Moving on. It turns out that an old sailor mouse is telling his grandkids what really happened the day the Titanic sunk.
Tragic ending to the maiden voyage of the Titanic. 100 missing. A lot of people died, huh?
The truth of the matter is that those missing persons were never really missing. It's a long and complicated story.
Really? So that's how you're starting this movie out, by saying the hundreds of people that died on the Titanic didn't really die on the Titanic.
It's all a misunderstanding. One of these days I'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah, bring it in.
All right, youngsters, you've talked me into it. I'll tell you the whole story.
Yes, please do! My curiosity for this story that involves everyone surviving one of the biggest disasters in the world is really quite fucking peaked!
It all began long ago in England.
So of course, we go into a flashback that shows Grandpa as a much younger mouse who was a sailor on the Titanic. But hey, if having a flashback isn't similar enough to that other film, what do you say we have an exact shot replica for the reveal of our leading lady?
Magnificent. Simply breathtaking.
This is Elizabeth. She's excited to be on Titanic except for one tiny little detail. She has to marry a man that she doesn't love. Yeah! Sound fucking familiar? Though to be fair, even though Billy Zane was basically a cartoony bad guy, they at least tried to make him look like a civilized gentleman. Here, they just slapped on an eye patch, an evil mustache, and anything else that would make him look like a James Bond villain. That or the boss from Harvey Birdman.
I'd rather die than marry that horrifying, disgusting old serpent.
Elizabeth, don't be impertinent. You have a position to keep up. Your stepmother and I simply want what's best for our little girl.
And if we say that the best for you is the worst for you, then it's the best for you. But at least the stuff with the cute little talking mice will be fun, right? Wrong. All these mice do throughout most of the movies talk about ship protocol. Yeah, ship protocol. Isn't that exciting?
We'll have the roll call, if you please.
Aye, sir. Mr. and Mrs. Angus Wallace Bruce McMouse. Mr. and Mrs. Porrig Liam O'Rat and 2 children, Juan and Evita Raton with offspring, Jean-Luc and Francois Ratatouille, and the Mousetti family from Sicily, featuring Parmigiano, Pecorino, Gorgonzola, Provolone, Fontina, Caciocavallo, Ricotta, Mozzarella, Herr Heinrich and Frau Greta from Mauskäse with adjunct Shlomo and Becky Boydsil, and the Silva Pereira Kenzo family from Recife, with 2 children, Ronnie and Estrella.
Let's look lively now with the boarding procedures.
So we go up that rope, is that it?
It's a right idea, but you have to learn sailor talk. Only landlubbers call that a rope. To us, it's an hawser.
Hey, remember when we used to just sneak aboard and eat shit? Can we go back to those days? So Elizabeth comes across a group of gypsies led by Tuxedo Mask here, who tells his dog to try and get Elizabeth's attention.
Come here, boy. Good boy. What a lovely soft coat you have. There, that's better, isn't it?
You idiot! I told you to get her necklace! What kind of stupid mutt are you?
Well, you suddenly got creepy.
I'm very sorry, sir, but the animal must be kept on a leash. My good man, you happen to be addressing Don Juan Tenorio de Ariarte Gonzalez Leon.
God damn, who goes around with 6 names?
Prince of Andalusia, but Prince does not travel with animals, you imbecile!
Oh, and I have to add Prince to that too? Yeah, fuck it, I'm calling him Joe.
Now step aside and let us board.
So, even though they established the dog has no owner, the dog is still allowed on anyway. Oh, wait, after he pees on him first.
You wretched beast, I'll get you for that!
Oh, it's not like I can just go up there and get you for that. I'll just throw my hat. That'll teach you. No, it landed on the dog. I guess there's nothing else it really would have done. Oh, now I hate my hat. I hate my hat so much. Oh, my motivations are so confusing.
So after leaving the town of genetic clones, I'm not kidding, look! We see our villain, named Maltravers, talk about his plans as a whaler.
There's no reason whatsoever why the Duke shouldn't grant me exclusive worldwide whaling rights.
Not to mention the hand of his darling daughter. By marrying her, you'll get your mitts on all of his money.
Exposition.
You hit the nail on the head. There's nothing in the world that counts besides money and power. Everything else is simply there to be used to achieve those objectives.
I think we just saw the meeting for how this movie got greenlighted. So we get one of those phoned-in CGI shots of the ship as the captain discusses what he's gonna do for the evening.
There's only one thing worse than a party, and that's a gala evening. Mr. Craig, have me called for any problem whatsoever, and if there aren't any, make one up.
Oh, you mean like iceberg right ahead? Yes, that's a good one.
Hurry up, Ronnie, we're late.
Oh good, our mousy friends got away from the rest of the team. I guess that means there's not gonna be any more ship protocol.
Men are greedy and all too likely to cheat on construction and materials. So for the first few days, be careful how you move about.
Yeah, whatever. Sing There's No Cats in America.
But there are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with trees.
But eventually they do get away from the group, and they see what's going on in the first-class quarters.
She's as beautiful as a picture and as fiery as the visual of a carioca. I'll see her in my dreams for the rest of my life.
I hate to be a spoil sport, but I would like to draw to your attention the fact that she's a woman and you're a mouse.
Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
What?
Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
Did we really just take a situation with 2 mice, a young woman, and somehow come out with racism? How do you do that? First of all, it's not racism as much as speciesism. Second, why is he fantasizing about a human female? Don't we have enough weird fetishes already with that crazy glove-smelling fucktard? Let's keep the oddness to a minimum. Oh god, I spoke too soon. Just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, things couldn't possibly get more fucked up, take a gander at this.
What's her name? Oh, I don't believe it. I can understand them. You can understand us thanks to a net of magic moonbeams that caught your tears as they fell into the water. We added a little magic of our own, and voila! The spell was cast.
Pardon? Okay, am I dreaming this? I really must be dreaming this. I really can't comprehend this at all. At all. I mean, okay, we now have magic dolphins who apparently can fly because, well, how the hell else are they staying up there so long? Who can suddenly talk to her because her rainbow bright tears caused some moonbeam bullshit and now everything's coming up Dr. Doolittle. But sure, why not? Okay, you can talk to dolphins now, arguably one of the most intelligent creatures on the entire planet. So what exactly are you gonna say to them?
If I could turn into a dolphin like you, that would make me happy.
That's great, young lady, that's great. You wish you were a dolphin, that's wonderful. What the fuck am I watching?! Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say that you stayed in the theater after you saw this scene. What exactly are they gonna do with this revelation?
We're engaged in a desperate battle to save the lives of our friends, the whale. The Maltravers ships are hunting the poor things near to extinction.
I'm sorry, which story are we watching? The love story, the ship, the mice, the whales? What is the focus? You can't just throw this incredibly bizarre bullshit at us and just expect us to go along with it. I mean, it's like saying, hey, the Titanic wasn't destroyed by an iceberg, it was a evil gang of underwater sharks who are in cahoots with the evil whaler.
Hey, me and the boys are ready to go into action anytime you say, guy.
Ice, I have a message from the boss. Stay alert and don't stray too far from the ship.
Tell him we're ready to destroy anything, anytime.
I'm sorry, I need to drop something. You can't, you really, oh! I'm sorry, I can't get through this in one sitting. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna take the occasional break to look at myself in the mirror and cry. Whew. On we go. So, why can the bad guys communicate with the criminal underwater shark gang? We don't know. It's never explained. Maybe he got some of that moonbeam bullshit from a crack dealer or something. But as of now, he doesn't want them to destroy the ship just yet. He just wants them to stay close. But luckily it seems that magic also seems to work with mice, as Elizabeth can suddenly understand them now too.
You ought to face the issue squarely and tell your father and Everard what you think.
You've gotta fight.
Of course I'm going to fight. Now I know you two are on my side. We can foil Everard and help those poor whales too.
Yes, now that they're on your side, I'm sure you'll have a great case to go up against your father. Father, I know you want me to marry that man, but I've been talking with the dolphins and mice, and they agree that it's not the right thing to do. But honest to God, they did talk to me! But Elizabeth does go to set the record straight, and it turns out her father takes it unrealistically well.
I have absolutely no intention of marrying Everard. I'm sorry to upset your plans, but...
Plans, did you say? My one and only plan, dear girl, is to see you as happy as possible. And I would never dream of forcing you to do something you don't want to.
Unless it was the beginning of the movie, in which case I said you have no choice. Seriously, what did she do different? She made the same argument she did before. In fact, it's actually less angry. Are you honestly telling me that this...
I have absolutely no intention of marrying Everard.
...is much more stronger than this?
I'd rather die than marry that horrifying, disgusting old serpent.
That's just the PMS talking. You'll get over it.
I have absolutely no intention of marrying Everard.
Whoa! Calm down, bitch! Calm down! Oh! Alright, we'll figure this out, man. Jesus! But meanwhile, down this hallway, or maybe it's this hallway. Nope, I guess it's this hallway. The bad guy is looking to make sure his evil wedding schemes go according to plan. But luckily, the mice kick him with a soccer ball and send him hilariously flying down the ship. Seems kind of pointless, seeing how we already know that Elizabeth isn't going to marry him, but hell, we need something to top the dog pissing scene, don't we? Meanwhile, apparently Joe is still in this movie, as we see he spends most of his time... Oh, God, get over it! God, I miss Elizabeth. Almost as much as I miss Vanessa. But it turns out the animals lead them together and they finally discover each other. And of course, they decide to dance. But, unlike the other animated Titanic movie where they shared only 3 lines of dialogue and decide they love each other, here they only share 1 line of dialogue. Yeah, 1 fucking line of dialogue and they know it's meant to be! I guess you consider sniffing the glove first base. But the whaler and evil stepmother, it turns out, are in cahoots with each other and they want to stop them from hooking up.
I trust I've been clear enough. If Mr. Maltravers is so important to you, then you marry him.
Actually, that's a great idea. If she's so evil, why doesn't she just leave Elizabeth's father and go with the whaler guy? Doesn't that make more sense? Whatever. It seems that boat has sailed or sank, so I guess it's better just to cut their losses and move on to the next logical step. Hold the father up at gunpoint, force him to sign the whaling concession, and tie him up so he won't escape. Tell me you wouldn't do the same thing! So he sends the message to the whalers that they're allowed to hunt wherever they please, but luckily the mice cut the wires before the message can get out. I'm sure that won't backfire in any way! But wait, with the father tied up, someone's liable to come across him. So again, what's the logical thing to do?
The ship has to sink tonight, but remember, not a second before midnight, or else all your work will have been for nothing.
Consider it done, Pally. Midnight on the dot.
That's right. It's the evil gang of sharks that sank the Titanic because of a needlessly complex whaling scheme. Aren't you glad we're simplifying the emotions of a horrendous tragedy to an insultingly basic battle of good versus evil?
After we've arranged for the iceberg to appear in front of the ship, we'll hold the rudder in our teeth, keeping her on course.
I don't even get it. Why do these Titanic movies need a bad guy? Isn't the iceberg sort of the designated villain?
Well, let's just call it a bet. A couple of my boys think they can heave an iceberg farther than tentacles can.
Oh, that sounds like great fun.
So the sharks trick a giant octopus named Tentacles into an iceberg throwing contest. There's a giant octopus with a dog's face in this movie and they're only waiting till the last third to show it. Way to subtly wheel us into that suspension of disbelief.
Don't you realize what you've done?
I beat the sharks at ice throwing.
You threw an iceberg at a ship full of people. I don't know how many of them we'll be able to save.
Oh, no!
It's not like he can just grab the iceberg and push it out of the way. Oh wait, yes he can. Why don't you just grab the iceberg and push it out of the way? So the whaler and stepmother escape on the boat and, not to give anything away, but the iceberg hits the ship. Hey, considering how much else they changed in this movie, I'm surprised they kept that.
They're sure to send out an SOS. Maybe there's a ship near enough that can make it in time to help us.
Oh my goodness, we cut the wire.
You didn't repair it after? That's against every rule of the Sea Mouse Maritime Union.
We spent 2 hours talking about ship protocol and you didn't even follow it? A pox on you! So they try to fix the wires with the help of another mouse named Camembert. Get it? It's a cheese! But the wires won't stretch far enough, so there's only one thing to do.
I've got it. Connect the wire to my mustache.
Yeah! What? Yes, this will be an incredibly funny scene if it didn't end up killing him. No, seriously, it ends up killing him. Look.
Oh, Camembert, Camembert, what a hero.
Okay, there's a lot of moments in a Titanic movie where you're supposed to have a serious death scene. You picked one, and it's a fucking wrong one! Come on! Oh, and unlike that downer Cameron movie where there weren't enough lifeboats, this film sets the record straight.
There's room for everyone!
See? There's There's room for everybody. What, did you think those idiots at the History Channel knew what they were talking about? No. It's the version with the giant talking octopus that has it right. So Elizabeth and Joe find the father and set him free, allowing him to get on the lifeboat.
Thank God Daddy's safe.
Why doesn't the daughter go too? Or for that matter, why not the boyfriend? Didn't you just hear the guy before?
There's room for everyone!
So hop on board! It doesn't matter if you have testicles in this movie, you can still make it out! But don't worry, Tentacles is there to put the ship back together. That's right, he's putting the ship back together. And just in case there's any confusion for this being mistaken for a tragic act of nature...
The truth is, it's all my fault.
No, Tentacles, it's not your fault. This all happened because of an evil, greedy human being.
You heard it right there, folks! It was all because of an evil human being. The realities of life don't play here. Hey, the next time a family member dies, just tell your kid a whaler did it. It's all cool. I mean, hey, as long as you can fucking blame something!
One of my tentacles slipped. I have to go back down.
So while you're pondering why an octopus has to hold his breath to go underwater, it turns out that dolphins have good news.
The whales! The whales are here! Hooray!
There be whales here! So the whales seem to save everybody on the ship, even the captain. Yeah, because we all know he made it out okay. But unfortunately, Tentacles can't hold on anymore and goes down with the ship. That sucks. But we have a wedding to cut to. That's right, Elizabeth and Joe finally got married, as did Grandpa Mouse and that blonde who he only shared one line with. Seriously, do these guys ever start a dialogue? When suddenly, their attention is drawn to the river.
I have the most wonderful surprise for you!
That's right, Tentacles is alive! And look, even Camembert, with no explanation whatsoever, somehow made it out okay.
I thought you were dead. Nope. Tentacles is alive! Look down there at the whales! All the others are alive too!
That's right, even though there were no whales or people in that shot you just saw, apparently everybody made it out alive. Thank God this isn't the least bit insulting to the hundreds of people who tragically lost their lives, or else this could possibly be the worst thing we ever produced as a species.
Tentacles, you are a true hero. And the many people who couldn't find space in the lifeboats, you saved their lives too. Tell us how you accomplished such an amazing feat.
It was the whales who did it, really.
What is up with the whaling shit in this movie? Look, if you want to make a movie about whales, that's fine. More power to you. But leave the deaths of hundreds of innocent people out of it if you don't mind. I mean, even Ferngully just stuck to the rainforest. They didn't try to work in the Hindenburg disaster or anything.
So this Ronnie is Granny Stella's brother.
So flashback to present day as the kids realize Grandpa has clearly gone off his meds and made this entire story up.
That means nobody's hunting the whales any longer. Is that right?
Unfortunately, no, children. There'll always be another Everard Maltravers. Their names may change, but their evil lives on, and the whales are still hunted.
Oh, Christ. Shut up! I hope we nuke those fuckers so we don't get any more movies like this.
You heard, children. Enough is enough. Your grandfather loves to tell stories, but like all sailors, you shouldn't take them too serious.
Understatement of the fucking millennium.
Oh, Connors.
So just to recap, everybody, nobody died on the Titanic, animals can talk with moon magic, sharks form underwater gangs, whales are Jesus, and the reveal of a giant talking octopus in New York got absolutely no media attention whatsoever. So, to sum up... Nope, I need a minute. Okay. Can you see why this is worse than the other one? I mean, the animation is better, but this goes from stupid to disgustingly insulting. Just the idea that people took this tragedy and turned it into such a lame ploy to save the whales is mind-boggling. The Titanic story has nothing to do with whales, so why'd you make that connection? It's insulting to history, it's insulting to children's intelligence, and it's straight up insulting to the people who died. Honestly, it's sort of hard to watch, it's so horrendous. I mean, it honestly makes this film look more realistic. The film with the rapping dog is actually closer to the real story of the Titanic. That is a new low for a kids movie to sink. It's beyond shit, and my guess is it'll take days before you stop feeling unclean from it. My only hope is that people will finally learn their lesson and stop making animated spin-offs off this shit.
Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
Done.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and this is Niagara Falls! I'm at one of the largest waterfalls in the world, and to celebrate, I'm gonna let you, yes you, the people, decide what I'm gonna review next here at Niagara Falls. So how about it, everyone? You have me here at Niagara Falls. What would you like me to review?
The third animated Titanic movie!
Really? Because I could have sworn you were going to choose the Marilyn Monroe movie Niagara. The romance between her and Joseph Cotton has been described as a raging torrent of emotion that even nature can't control.
The third animated Titanic movie!
But Monroe plays a tantalizing temptress that kisses fired man's souls. You can't deny such poorly worded smut! Alright, fine. I'll review this movie that has nothing to do with Niagara Falls, but you guys have wanted me to review for years. Will that make you happy?
But what about the script?
It doesn't matter. The people made up their minds.
Well, I wanted to play Marilyn.
Oh, come on. It's a Nostalgia Critic review. You know Malcolm would get the part.
But what about the guest stars?
We're just gonna have to can them too. Show's canceled!
Well, I know a gaggle of hookers soon to have my name on them. It's locked from the outside.
Well, that goes along with him cutting the phone and the TV.
Who does that?
He said it would keep us in character.
As what? Amish bed testers?
Is that why he also took our phones and deep fried them?
I really should have drawn the line at that.
Why do we do things with him?
For those who don't know, years ago I reviewed an animated Titanic musical known as Titanic: The Legend Goes On. Not only was it an obvious ripoff of the James Cameron film, but it had racist singing mice, a forced happy ending, and a rapping dog. Yeah, a rapping dog on the Titanic. It was one of the most tasteless abominations ever. At least it was until I found another animated Titanic musical called The Legend of Titanic. It had racist singing mice, a forced happy ending, but no rapping dog. No. That was replaced with a glove-sniffing fetishist, sharks that escape from jail that sink the ship instead of an iceberg, and a giant puppy dog squid who puts the ship back together so that everyone can get out alive. Good chocolate-coated God. As if having two of these in existence wasn't enough for Skynet to want to kill us, this last one actually got a sequel. Because sinking the Titanic was clearly just part one. The sequel is the one we're looking at today, called In Search of the Titanic. Just when you thought things couldn't possibly get any stupider in a world that focuses on the sinking of the Titanic, what does this one throw in? Atlantis! Yeah, Titanic and Atlantis now exist in the same universe. Well, I guess it is the next logical step. It just keeps going in descending order. Titanic in Atlantis, Titanic in space, Titanic assignment Miami Beach, and of course, Titanic in the hood.
Let's green egg and have it.
The funny thing is, this wasn't even originally called that. It was originally called Tentacalino, the name of the puppy puss in the last one, even though he's barely in it. But his name was changed from the Italian version to something more simple. What whatever they choose to call him.
Artie.
Artie.
Archie.
The great Artie.
Yeah, any of these. And thus it became a Titanic movie once again, meaning I have to review it. And believe it or not, it is actually, no joke, not kidding, even worse than the other two. Not one hint of sarcasm, this is the worst one. Now, I do have this tradition of drinking a rather large bottle of Jaeger every time I view one of these, and seeing that this is somehow the absolute worst out of all of them, it's time to push the button.
I know where I'm vacationing this week.
Let us begin. We start with a recap of the last film, and if you think you know the story of the Titanic and don't need a recap, you clearly haven't seen it from writers whose everyday dinner looks like this.
It was called The Rip-Off of Dreams, and it really was.
It says the film takes place 3 years after the Titanic sunk, where apparently there's been quite the technology boom in those short years. I guess the 2001 aliens are dropping monoliths on marine biologists. But it looks like they only got half the enlightenment because the only people going down to search for the Titanic are 2 of the passengers and their dog from the first one. Are they really qualified? Just because they were on the Titanic doesn't mean they can find the damn thing. Hey, I know where Amelia Earhart is because I watched an episode of Star Trek she was on. Millions in research funds, please. I guarantee you, though, they're gonna see stranger things in this yellow submarine than the Beatles ever did. Starting with their dog, who can talk to them now.
It seems to me there are a lot of nasty-looking sharks out there.
Oh, it must be those magic moonbeams in the last film that came from a woman's tears that, you know, life is too precious, it's not worth the time. And don't forget about the little mice friends from the last one, who are just as afraid of the sharks watching them as the dog is.
We're at sea. This is their home. Honestly, there really isn't anything to worry about.
Sharks, indeed. They're worse than cats.
Even cats eat mice.
We lose thousands of lives to your house pets every day. It's funny. Cut to immediate style change. Christ, is Lara Croft swimming through here? As we're shown
Yo, look at my teeth. They're so sharp and white and neat.
Why do these movies need rap songs? I just don't see the connection. Was the rap song in the other film such a worldwide phenomenon that the movie said, hey, we can make it whiter?
Yeah, there's no one cooler than me. I'm a great big genius that lives in the sea.
Ooh, man, you better look out. There's gonna be a rap battle between this and the Polar Express chefs who sing the hot chocolate song. What the hell are they even saying? It's so gargled that I think we're just supposed to interpret our own lyrics. So the head of the sharks is told about the Simpson testicle and he tells his minions to attack it. Why? His detailed reasoning will send shivers down your spine.
Are you sure it's yellow? I hate that color. I can't stand yellow.
Macbeth had the inner duality of acquiring power while holding on to his humanity. Ahab demonstrated how revenge can destroy others as well as yourself. This character hates yellow. If that brilliantly established motivation doesn't give you goosebumps, I weep for you. So he orders the sharks to start sinking their teeth into it.
What's happening?
Calm down, Smile. Relax. It must have been an underwater current.
It couldn't be those things I said wouldn't attack us attacking. Let's make another joke about cats.
Let's cut the cables.
They chew on the cable so discreetly that they don't make any sound effects. Must be on silent running. As they're tossed around inside.
Try to stay calm.
Yeah, because that worked so well before. What was your advice on the Titanic? Read a book? The cable is cut, but the sharks don't want to finish them off just yet. The reason?
Right now, I have to go and brush my teeth.
A lot of people underestimate the importance of shark dental hygiene. But in a bizarre twist, the sharks are also in cahoots with the bad guy from the first film, as they communicate via jellyfish telegram.
Okay.
Jeffrey, now this is important. I want our mini submarines to be in a permanent state of alert.
Jesus, how many submarines did they have back then? If your evil plans to get rich, I'd say mission already accomplished. Our Muppet tentacle porn comes across the sinking sub, but can't pull it out even though he was originally strong enough to put the Titanic back together. Who can he get to help?
Whoa!
It begins. Yep, an army of every 80s girl toy that ever existed arrive and tell the craptopus that they can help. Thank God they use their advanced technology of bubble in a can. Bubbles! And ride their literal seahorses to the city of Atlantis. Their dog Smile wakes up to see what's happening.
Help! I'm dead!
Keep calm, you're all safe.
No, I'm dead! And you're taking me to doggy hell.
Wow, thanks for putting that idea into kids' heads. Did your puppy ever bite you? He could go here. They take them to Dr. Calamity Jane as our heroes discover that Atlantis is kinda like a creepy comfort inn, except somehow even more hostile.
Go and get things ready, immediately.
Get what ready?
Calm down.
Me?
Yes.
To be able to...
Wow, what an asshole! Talk out of line again, and I will smite down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. You will know my name is the Lord.
You have to drink the elixir before you visit the city.
Of course. Keep calm. If they wanted to
Stop
harm us,
saying
they
keep
wouldn't have saved us.
calm!
This elixir is such a
Have you noticed all the bullshit it got you in? Look, sharks, keep calm. We're gonna drown. Keep calm. Drink this incredibly suspicious shit.
This elixir is such a pretty color.
The skull and crossbones are especially adorable.
I'm honored to introduce to you my squadron of mermaids and mermen.
Bye.
Why'd we show up for this again?
Does he think we can hear him through that?
We must go. It's getting late.
The mall closes half past kidnap o'clock.
How do you like it?
It's like a dream.
No, dreams make sense compared to this. They then take him to a room full of toys who have the ability to speak and achieve conscious thought. How is this possible?
Everything lives, moves, and thinks, even if it seems impossible at times.
Oh, that explains that. How about a creepy song number?
Here is a surprise. You can thank your lucky stars that have saved your lives.
I don't like this guy's voice. He sounds like the Crypt Keeper if he was choking on Gollum.
I will say without mistake, Atlantis is the only place where you always stay awake.
This is the last thing we'll see before we die.
It's fun and games.
But you know what this song really needs?
Here in Atlantis.
Rave music.
The water is fresh, you can swim around at the fish hotel. It's a real cool sound. Coming to my shelter doesn't cost a dime. Every single day, it's always party time.
This review is writing itself. I'm not even kidding. Look, this review is literally writing itself. This is so terrifyingly batshit insane that you can actually hear someone off-screen declare, "This is scary." I'm not even kidding. Listen closely. Do you hear that? I swear she said this is scary. Yes, it is, poor soul. I think we know who the real survivors involving the Titanic should be. But the musical counselor lets some uncomfortable news slip.
Up there, you can't go back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to tell you that after the chloroform sprinklers went off. Holy Christ, I need a drink. Hey, who drank my Jaeger Planet?
Tonight, we are young. So let's set the world on fire. We can go higher than the sun.
There's the sun.
So they end up meeting the king of Atlantis, and wow!
From now on, Atlantis will be your home, and you will not be able to leave it.
Who's a ring wraith now?
I hope you will accept my apologies for the lack of tact displayed by our counselor when he gave you the news.
On the contrary, it's better that we were told about the situation right away. And I have to say your counselor informed us in the most amusing way. which helped us all to see the benefit.
Yes, I love being told I'm a hostage via bullshit music that even Radio Disney would throw in acid. Clearly, you thought long and hard about this. He's also told that the elixir not only has them breathe underwater, but also can have them live forever. Again, would have been a nice nugget of knowledge to know earlier.
Your friends aren't still getting over the shock of the news, are they?
No, they're still a bit surprised by it, but they understand that we had no choice in the matter.
What are you smoking to be so okay with this?
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
Our mice friends come across other mice in Atlantis, because that's a common Atlantean infestation, and it turns out there are even more offensive stereotypes than them.
Yeah, you can never be too prudent. After you, everything is ready. It's open, but you can trust us, you know. Get out of here, go! And take the flask with you!
We call him Mickey Mouse Rooney. While that's going on, Smile comes across a new companion. Whoa, 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 slow down. We haven't even sniffed each other's asses yet. I guess that scene was over. This movie has the smooth transition of a slap to your balls.
Who are these? The chief did say that all the rats should be present, you idiot.
You're so stupid, I bet you'd appear in the same background in a jump cut. So the rats of this underwater world don't like the Atlanteans and want to take them over.
Let's take a huge stash of the elixir of life with us. Thanks to the elixir, we'll be able to conquer the world, and we'll offer that annoying little pink octopus as a present to Razor Teeth. That fish is the one that causes all the problems.
Razor Teeth?
Yes, he's our ally.
Wow, I never accumulated so many questions in such a short amount of time. How did the rats get there? If they didn't drink the elixir, how can they be there? How will the elixir make them rule the world? Why do they want to rule the world? What issues do they have with the Atlantean government? How does the Atlantean government work? Why do they think the octopus causes all the problems? How are they in contact with the sharks? Why are they in contact with the sharks? This bullshit makes so little sense you could call it Brexitlantis. This news eventually gets back to our heroes.
This time we should all be there. Do I make myself perfectly clear, Smile?
But I can't come. I'm really scared of water. I had a bad experience when I was only a puppy.
Oh, and being on the Titanic probably played a small part in that. Oh yeah, by the way, aren't we supposed to be looking for that? For a film called In Search of Titanic, there's very little searching for the Titanic. Even for the original title, Tentacalino, he's barely in this either. You might as well call it Left Shoe on Lady's Foot. It'd make about as much sense and be far more engaging. So they tell the king about the evil plot and how they also plan to take apart his counselor.
If they dismantle me with a screwdriver, I'll die.
They'll have to have a screwdriver, and down here in Atlantis, there are no screwdrivers. They've all been banned.
Well, wait a minute. No screwdrivers? All of this city was made with no screwdrivers? Boy, dealers in this city must be very interesting. So they agree to let them do the revolution. I mean, they are just friggin' rats. And to stop them in the middle of it.
We'll replace the flask of elixir with a false one, which will be full of water.
I'm ready to serve, Your Majesty.
We must prepare for battle.
All we have to do is win.
You've made everyone dumber for saying that. So they help them get the fake elixir, but the Atlanteans are there to head them off.
That's it, good!
Whoa! Smiles is packing!
I'm sending you all to doggy hell! You hear me? Doggy hell! Which we just clarified exists!
Attack!
Wow, look at all those ships. And not one screwdriver was used on any of them. A little spit and mud goes a long way. So all the toys are marching into battle when somebody spots a little girl doll in the army.
A little girl? Little one, I appreciate your effort, but this is no place for someone like you. What is your name, my child?
For the love of broken bagpipes.
What?
I'm not a little girl. I'm the commander of the mountain artillery troops. It's a curse, not a disguise. I'm dolled up like this because I fell into the hands of a little girl who thought she'd put a wig on me when she saw me with this skirt on. Your Majesty.
Don't come near me.
Let me fight. I have to banish this curse that's haunting me and regain my identity.
Okay, some notes? How is a little girl dressing you up a curse? It's just a little girl dressing you up. There's no supernatural elements. Second, why don't you just take the wig off? Along with the makeup. In fact, you're underwater. How the hell does it stay on anyway? Yeah, like that. You just did it! You took it off like it was nothing! Does that mean the curse is gone now? Whatever weird curse you think your Parker brother Ouija board gave you?
From now on, you have a new leader. A new general. The General Brumali.
And I'm not even kidding. This character never comes back. The strange backstory, the curse, the nonsensical story arc, none of it plays a part in anything. It was 100% pointless. Well, thank you for that. Whenever somebody brings up a Scottish toy who fought in a war, who was cursed to look like a little girl, but fired a cannon, lifting the curse and promoting him to general, I still won't reference you. So they zap the bad guy's ship with some sort of forgetting ray.
Okay.
And the bad guy totally forgets his plans. Or if he ever had any at all. Yeah, what was his scheme?
Jeffrey, tell me, what was happening?
Thus, the rats also find out that the elixir they got isn't the real elixir, as they test it on this old man whom they tied to bricks and tried to drown. You know, I'm starting to think these were the rats Nim flushed down the toilet.
Fix them so that they'll never hurt anyone again.
Ah! What was that?
We've won, we're the best.
Why was there a random shot of Pink Thulu there? Was it a subliminal message letting us know the film is always watching us?
Jesus died in vain. We've won, we're the best.
And as a reward to our heroes, they clean up and put together the Titanic. Yeah, remember that? The title of the goddamn movie?
We finished, Your Excellency.
Complete with dead bodies and everything.
Yeah. Come on, Screwy!
Wait a minute! He's with the screwdriver! I thought they were outlawed! In fact, the screwdriver can talk too! Yeah, it can think, it can make choices, it can do anything just like all the other things! That makes it kind of worse! They've outlawed an entire group of people just for existing? That's America's job! So they take the ship and our heroes to the Isle of Naboombu, where they say they'll live the rest of their immortal lives. Sweet?
This is a secret island, unreachable by anyone, and here you will live happily ever after.
Thanks again for kidnapping us, forcing us to live forever, having us fight in your wars, and dropping us off on a deserted island. Thank God we have no friends back home. And that was The Search for Titanic, by far the worst of the movies. Not because of how historically insensitive it is, you could claim the others are worse for that, but just for what a poorly made, nonsensical, totally mad collection of ravings it is. The imagery in this film is beyond bonkers, and the reasons for the imagery are the invitation to a dark hallway of insanity I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. It is beyond words. It is a sickness. It is the worst in the animated musical Titanic trilogy. And I am so sad we live in a world where that's a thing. Holy goddamn hell. For this movie is an infection. And let me tell you, it's infected me. And it's gonna take a long time to get rid of it. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and I will survive. You know, it's funny. In the end, all I had to do was think of people less fortunate than me. That somehow just cleared everything up. Just thinking of people less fortunate than me.
It's not that I'm ashamed of the name Cricket Lee. I thought it'd be a show about a cartoon insect who studies kung fu, and now it's never gonna happen.
Don't say that.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Actually, I think there is a porno of it.
Did you guys have a good rest? That's fantastic. What are you still doing here? Get out there and see the sights. If you could sign these forms just saying that you won't sue me for any felonies I may or may not have committed, that'd be phenomenal. So, yeah, go out there, see Niagara. It's Niagara, guys. It's so great. Get out there, you bunch of knuckleheads.
All we have to do is win.
Coming next week, does PG mean anything anymore? Come on, guys, you need parental guidance for this? But you can see it now under Vessel's ad-free early access. Just $3 a month to see tons of people's videos early, as well as a bunch of other extra features. Check it out and get the early scoop. Hey, Doug Walker here doing the charity shout out. This week we are doing the American Foundation for Children with AIDS. This is a non-profit organization providing critical support to infected and affected HIV-positive children and their caregivers. Since 2005, in collaboration with their in-country partners, they've served tens of thousands of families in marginalized communities in Africa. Their areas of impact include medical support, livelihoods, nutrition, educational support, and emergency relief. Currently, the AFCA is transforming lives in Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. If you look at their website and their YouTube channel, you can see all the young lives you can make better by simply donating, even the smallest amount. As their motto goes, hope is a spark that changes lives, and the AFCA provides hope to thousands of children in Africa. Check them out and see how you can keep the spark still glowing.